Welcome, welcome. We gather here as a place that is truly open to our diversity of all kinds, our diversity of thinking, our diversity of our abilities, our diversity of backgrounds, our diversity of searches, our journeys. And we also are remembering that we stand on ground. We're sitting in the territory of what used to be the Mohawk people, the Haudenosaunee, and those people were forced out, and here we sit. So it is a part of our learning curve for what it means to be present in a world where there's so much damage, and what it is our relationships are to be with all communities. And so I truly welcome you to this beloved community. I am going to ask for, gosh, Barb, would you be willing to light the chalice?
If I have to use that thing,
Oh,
I'm
no,
not good at it.
Yeah, like I am, right? Oh, sorry,
I use
everybody.
real matches myself.
Oh, you might have to. There it is. Good. We light the chalice in honor of those who come before us and those who will come after us, those we don't know. We light the chalice with the intention of holding this community well for future generations. May it be so. Thank you, Barb. The opening words are from one of the mentors, one of the people I have been inspired by for my entire life. Her name is Annie Dillard. She's something between a naturalist and a poet. Has written the Pilgrim on Tinker Creek. Tiny little beautiful, beautiful book. And this is a passage from Tinker Creek. The secret of seeing is the pearl of great price. The literature of illumination reveals this above all. Although it comes to those who wait for it, it is always, even to the most practiced and adept, a gift and a total surprise. I cannot cause light. The most I can do is try to put myself in the path of its beam. It is possible in deep space to sail on solar wind. Light, be it particle or wave, has force. You rig a giant sail and go. The secret of seeing is to sail on solar wind. Hone and spread your spirit till you yourself are a sail, wetted, translucent, and broadside to the merest puff. Would you join in singing from page 1000 of the Blue Hymn Book, Morning Has Come? And if the octave is too high for you, just drop down into what you might think is alto or bass or whatever you go. Please rise in body or spirit when you're able and willing.
With joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope shines upon each face. Let bring faith to guide our journey home.
For together time, I'm going to use this microphone and direct you to that tree. I'm sorry, web present people, that you can't see it, but the tree of life will find a new home soon as the climate action team prepares for the journey called Green Sanctuary, which you will hear about for the years to come. We made this tree at the beginning of this year to show our collective commitment to support our beloved planet and support the people most hurt by the damage caused to the earth. As Unitarian Universalists, we value people and planet. We made this tree to encourage hope, even when things are painful. When we know about a person in church doing things to support the planet and people, we place a leaf on the tree. I'd like the children and adults, I know that Asher's ready, and maybe, yes, you'd like to be part of it too, Gabe? Yeah? Well, whoever would like to come forward to help, Jack is here, ready to help you. And I'd like to invite first the climate action team to just identify yourself with your name and the fact that you're part of the CAT, the climate action team, and put that leaf on our tree because it is a very hopeful part of our life together. So that would include Carol Gable, please, as the chair. Oh, beautiful leaf. And there are leaves up here if you want to just write your name on one, so you don't have to have your own leaf. So Roberta, would you like to come forward? I often forget my leaves. Miranda, I think, may not be here, and she is absolutely part of the climate action team, so I wonder if, Roberta, you'd be willing to write her name on it as part of the climate action team. And I think also Deb Hagenbach is part of that team, am I right? Yes, so if somebody would put Deb's name up there. So we have this cloud of Barb, of course, and Will, please, put your names up there. There are actual leaves. Here, there's a leaf up there that you can write on, which was more visible and encouraging. Use a leaf, a green leaf. And David joins. David says his leaves are all wet outside, so he has to use a paper one here. And thank you, Sally. We have one that is specifically, I love it. That's our, no worries. Sally Carmen, who's also on the climate action team, and there is a list of things that each person is doing, but also that Sally in particular does. I'll remember them off the top of my head, with solar panels and an electric car and an induction stove, arrange.
I just bought heat pump clothes dryer, which I anyway.
And also solar panels, or maybe I said that already. But anyway, dedication to the cause that shows up in action. Tree of Life, climate justice, is a way for us to feel more hopeful about what feels often like a dire situation, and encourage us each to do what we can.
Action is the driver of hope.
Action, Barb says, is the driver of hope. For Barb and many others. So who else in this collective group of people would like to put your name on a leaf and share something that you might be doing at home or here to help encourage care of the earth and care of people who are most affected by? Are you going to come forward, Barb? Yes. Barb Lindsley is going to come forward and put your name on a leaf because...
It's a little thing, but when driving cross-country with my truck camper, I go no higher than 62, both for safety and for mileage.
That's discipline. Who else? Please. Michaela.
I'm Michaela, and I am very much a fan of gardening. And I recently had a success at home when I convinced my grandmother that we should put a composter in the backyard. We both love gardening, and it's just far too wasteful purchasing dirt all the time when we have everything we need to make our own good dirt.
And I know there are a whole bunch of other gardeners in this place. All right, while they're finishing, please come right on up.
Hi, good morning. I hang my laundry outside every chance I get. One of my favorite things to do, it reminds me of my mother. It reminds me of the women in Africa that didn't have clotheslines and threw their clothing over the trees to dry. And I love it. I hate using my dryer. Oh, I'm Brenda Maris.
All right, so please come forward, Ryan.
Hello, I'm Ryan. We recently are going. We drive an EV, and then we just took out the gas line to the house, so we're all heat pump electric for the house now. So and solar. So we're trying. You're
doing great. Beautiful. All right, so please come on up, Fran. This tree is a mysterious tree. It's got leaves like poplar and maple and...
My name is Fran Geritzi. My family's motto is waste not, want not. I firmly believe that and act on it. I also refuse to buy any more plastic than I have to. I don't buy plastic wraps. I get enough from takeouts at restaurants to use up for the plastic, and I don't buy paper towels. I use old rags. And I really am very serious about worrying about plastic.
As you can see, many of us are doing many things, and hopefully this will keep us on course towards hope. So, let's see, I think this is going to need, okay. Oh, please, come forward. I'll let you move that.
And Paul Konerowitz points out that we have a battery-operated lawnmower for church now. Todd, come on up. How you doing? This is Todd, everybody.
Using photons, like using.
You're on.
Using photon computing or analog computers for like machine learning to reduce the energy consumption of AI. Not now, but I want to get into it. So photonic, using light to reduce friction instead of electricity. You know?
Awesome. A lot of stuff I didn't know about.
Thank you, Todd. Todd is a friend of Melissa's at MV, too. Okay, let me come up and you're going to read it. Hey, it's Kim, everybody.
This is from Beth Haas online, mending clothes instead of replacing them, choosing natural fibers over synthetics. I know I personally, consignment stores are it, reusing clothes, stop buying new clothes.
Who was that, Kim? That was Beth Haas.
And wherever this tree ends up, I'm sure the climate action team is going to keep doing what makes most sense to do with all the things that we are creating together. And I'm thinking, Jeff, it may make sense to turn this again, the iPad, so I locate myself. All right, to love our planet and life itself. We need to know the truth of what is happening. Truths both beautiful and painful. To love the earth and all of the people, to act to support earth and the people, we need to be able to maintain the course through suffering, our own and others' suffering. Hope can be an essential component to stay open to that beautiful and difficult journey. So hope is impermanent because life is so full of losses. Hope is really hard to hang on to when we are exposed to suffering, our own and others again. We can end up feeling disconnected from hope and sometimes feeling hopeless, and that is a common aspect of being human. Even when we have a strong faith in what is most central to our lives, to be awake to suffering, we sometimes lose that faith. Life is full of loss, as I said, and clinging to hope, berating ourselves for losing hope causes more suffering. And so I would encourage, allow yourself to feel the losses. That is part of what's essential to regaining hope. Thank all that's good for mentors who help us grow beyond those stuck places. Joanna Macy, who's a Buddhist and psychologist, is one of the most significant mentors in my life. One of her books is called Active Hope. And there's a vibrant, practicing global community that has sprouted from the work of Joanna Macy, and the core of the book called The Work That Reconnects. This network supports people all over the world to acknowledge loss, truly acknowledge loss, sometimes terrible loss, and often the loss of hope, to acknowledge this, and then as an essential first step, leading to reconnecting, our capacity to reconnect to what is life-giving. And so, without that connection to life and each other, hope is very hard to find. Acknowledging loss and reconnecting make it possible to move toward the creative and the regenerative forces of life that are always there somewhere. Hope is impermanent, but it is possible to practice being open to hope by acknowledging that loss and reconnecting, and it is a process that opens us up to catching hope, which we cannot ourselves create. Catching the most brilliant ways of being human. I grew up in farm country in the Hudson Valley, and I have a friend in the coast of Maine who's an expert sailor. Every once in a while, she invites me to sail on her little boat called the Dove Key. And once, when we were out there, the winds and the waves were wild. So you can picture me in a 19-foot sailboat, my legs jammed under the cockpit, and my garden wooden hardened hands, my tough hands from being a landlubber, gripped the boat. And if you see white knuckles in your imagining of me, you've got that right. Our captain points the Dove Key out into open sea, and we fly over waves and down into the bowl between the waves. I don't know if you've experienced that. Whew. In the bottom of the next hollow, I see water 8 feet tall coming right over the bow, and slowly enough so that I can imagine over me. So the captain is so used to this, and she's laughing with glee. And there's actually a person in the back of the boat singing the Hawaii Five-0 theme song. Da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Some of you know it well. I, on the other hand, think this is the Titanic. You know, this is not fun. So the waves crash over me. I get very wet and very cold, and I survive. And just as the waves calm down enough for me to pry my eyes off the bottom of the boat, I look over my shoulder and see the white sail. It's so fully open to the wind that it is completely taut, completely open and catching all the wind. So that tautness, that sail catching the wind, helps the crew and the boat fly through the water, just fly. And I'm thrilled and awed And I feel in my bones that the open, full sail is a mirror image of what it might be to be open to life. Open to energies we cannot create or control. Open to those energies that are intelligence, love, wind, water, spirit, God, light. Again, Annie Dillard, I cannot cause light. The most I can do is try to put myself in the path of its beam. It is possible in deep space to sail on solar wind. Light, be it particle or wave, has force. You rig a giant sail and you go. The secret of seeing is to sail on solar wind. Hone and spread your spirit till you yourself are a sail, wetted, translucent, broadside to the merest puff. I know that things can cause us to roll up that sail, remove it from the wind. Those reasons are varied and many. Sometimes we have to drop the sail of our beings to simply rest from the work of being in the wild waves, the wild currents, the wild winds of life. To pull out of that intensity and rest is a quiet eddy and necessary in our lives. It's a wise choice for many of us. And there are many, way too many things in our lives that rob us of our ability to open that sail again. In this state, when we lose hope, we can't feel that merest puff of inspiration or unaware of the winds of change. So we shut it down. We shut ourselves down. We retreat. We entertain or distract ourselves. With ourselves distracted, it is more difficult to acknowledge painful losses. More difficult to eventually reconnect to that in life which can bring us light. One of the most potent causes of people shutting down their sails, which are their connection to what can inspire, is keeping hard, frightening secrets. Hard secrets can intensify shame, which can destroy the very fiber of the sail of our lives. Yesterday was the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. The celebration commemorates the 1990 very recent decision of the World Health Organization to remove homosexuality from the list of mental disorders. That recently. I realized my queerness in 1975, while most people still believed that my very existence was a mistake, that I was not normal. Some of my friends, in fact, back in the 70s, lost their families and friends as they declared their queerness, and their relatives declared them dead to the family. The worst impact for me of my queerness was hiding the truth for 5 years from my family of origin, who I'm very close to. My sense of belonging, my core energies, my sense of purpose, my sense of ability to hope, all were blunted in those years of holding a shameful secret. Once I came out to my family, I was more free to open myself to the inspiration of nature, the spirit of life, the driving forces of evolution and change. I could participate more fully. And once the shame of my secret lifted, I was much more able, like the full sail, catching the merest puff of inspiration, light, and hope. Secrets and shame that can arise from those secrets can shut down our ability to be open to life. And so we work against those secrets and against that shame. It can be toxic and cause us to lose the ability to catch love and hope in life. Our congregation is a place of acceptance that eventually helps each of us share, perhaps with one other person, the toxic secret and allows ourselves to open again. Fear is another thing that can stoke hopelessness. In wild storms, however, it's strategic and wise to take that sail down rather than risk being torn apart or sinking. We have to rest from the fear that is climate change and racism. We have to rest. But too often in my life and the lives of countless others, fear robs us of ways to connect to the regenerative winds of life. Fear of being judged, fear of losing a job, fear of getting hurt, fear of making mistakes or hurting others. The need to comply, to be like others, can stop us from being our authentic selves, making it really difficult to open ourselves to connect. My own neurodiversity, I hid until I started serving this congregation, which is a phenomenal gift in my life, and the reason that we gather to just affirm who we are with one another and not feel like we have to fear it. As life is full of loss, and hope is not a static thing, we don't claim it and it stays with us. It's wise to practice finding ways to help ourselves open again to those regenerative life forces. So what practice, given that the life force is identified in different ways for all of us here, what practice can help us deal with loss rather than squashing it? What practice can help us, can help you open again to what is most essential in your life, that can inspire us and bring us hope again? So consider sharing today. Some of what you've discovered can take the wind out of your sails, and what you have learned helps you reconnect to the generative forces of life. What can help you open up again after loss? Open again to the possibility of inspiration and hope. And now, if you think of something that you would like to share, that you feel brave enough to share, we would benefit from hearing your thoughts. My apologies, people on the web. I will give this to you, yes. Thank you. Do what's comfortable to you. Come forward if you like, so people can see you, or stay where you are, whichever works.
I'm Carol Gable, and I go to church on Sundays to help me feel hope and inspired. And I listen to people play music. I talk to UUs. I listen to wise ministers like Karen, and I can start Monday fresh and hopeful.
The memorial service we had for Sarah last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, did a lot to give me hope. And thank everybody for that.
And your name?
Branwyn Drew.
Thank you, Brent.
It was a lovely service. Hi, Lorraine. Let's see, you need to stand right about where I am so that the people on Zoom can see you.
I make art.
Yes.
I found out this week that a friend of mine was supposed to come over today, lost a friend who was killed. And there's lots of mystery around this death. And it brought up some of my experience that I can be there, hopefully, empathetically. He's a musician. He has tattoos of dragons all over him because dragons have helped him and dragons have helped me. And I regret not bringing my painting. That is a three-dimensional wave, tsunami wave, with a little imp that's floating with his hands back and his eyes closed and a smile on his face. And just gonna ride the wave. And I have a picture on my phone. I was gonna bring it, but I was like, so if anybody wants to see it, you listen.
Hi, I'm new. I'm Amber Green. So I have a couple, well,
several things because that I was thinking about with this because I have a very complicated past. Fear has controlled most of my life. And so many times I find myself frozen in fear. And so several things for me, I'm like, that one thing I found is just to do it scared. And so sometimes, like, in that moment, in that fear, making an active choice to say, I am going to do this anyway. I am going to show up for myself because that is proving that I am a valuable person and that I matter and my voice matters. And also there's a song called Body by Sleeping at Last. And some of the lyrics go, there's magic in our bones. There's a North Star in our soul that helps us find our way home. And so sometimes it's also just having those somatic practices and all those things that where it's like, what is my body saying to me in this moment? What am I feeling deep core in my bones that I'm having trouble expressing? I'm having trouble seeing it myself in my head and maybe even in my heart. Maybe my emotions are just all over the place. What is my body saying? And where do I go from that? And like Lorraine, I'm an artist as well. And so sometimes I get frozen up in trying to create things the way that I feel like people are going to buy and try to maintain a life as a disabled person trying to make it. Just like, okay, I will produce all of these things. And then I lose the joy. I lose like the whole reason I'm doing it in the first place. I lose what the expression. I lose myself because I'm afraid and I'm creating as a survival mechanism, as a tactic instead of what's just pouring out of my soul. And so sometimes what I have to do is I just take something like a just simple acrylic paint. I'm just like, okay, we're slapping this on the paper. We are going to make it as unpredictable as possible. And so sometimes just taking something and deliberately make it in such a way that you cannot predict the outcome and working with it that way and just watch as magic happens and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever created in my entire life. This is amazing. Yeah, so those are some of the things that have really helped me loosen up, and I hope that was helpful.
That was awesome. Hey, Paul.
Good morning. I'm Paul Hadley. What I like is having either a vacation or a weekend away planned and something to look forward to. I'm going to Boothbay Harbor, Maine in the middle of June, which is a beautiful scenic place if you've never been there.
This will be our last one, Sally.
Sally Carmen, and I've been going to a lot of rallies lately.
Yeah.
And seeing so many people there who really care gives me much hope.
Anyone online express something? Yes.
I'll just bring the mic to Kim.
These will be the last ones.
Beth Haas online says, gardening is an act of hope for me. You put plants or seeds into the ground and just trust that they're going to grow under your care.
Thank you all. As always, was there another Roberta? Go ahead.
Not that I want to need a wheelchair again. growing up, what do I find hope in? Okay, growing up, I've been like taught on the playground the R word or misjudged because I am autistic. I also have this medical condition called mitochondrial complex 2, and it's like my because of that, my muscle tone is very like weak. So my vocal cords, in the combination of my erratic tapping behavior, people seem to misjudge me or don't take me serious, and or they don't even have to say it, and it bothers me. It hurts. I just ignore it, but deep down it really hurts. And they look at me as somebody who don't really think of my intellect. And I want to say thank you. If you can understand this, I want to be a part of this church. Thank you.
Thank you. Even when we have a strong faith in what is most central to our lives, to be awake to suffering, our own and others, we sometimes lose that faith. We lose sight of hope. Life is full of loss. Our ability to be open to the winds of inspiration can falter or fail. Acknowledging and feeling loss can help us open again to the winds and currents of change. And once again, we can be filled, we can be guided by vision that inspires and move to active hope. May it be so for us all. Blessed be, and amen. In the blue hymnal is a hymn 1007. There's a river flowing in my soul. Some of you may know it well. When you're ready and able, please rise in body or spirit and join in singing. Swaying is allowed.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. Repeat, soul. There's a river flowing in my soul.
Thank you. Please be seated. Would you take a few moments to breathe, to settle yourself, to open your hearts and your minds if you can, and locate somewhere in you what it is that is most central in your lives, whether that be clear mind, nature, science, God, Spirit, love. In the silence together, be mindful of those not able to be here. Send love to those who need. Be bathed in this peace and the beauty of this sacred house and this beloved community. Rest, if you can, in this peaceful silence. Life brings us to a kind of brink again and again, a horizon where we can see no further. And it is good to remember that we have learned from teachers, artists, and prophets that the horizon is only the limit of our sight. Beyond what we know or see, there is the unknown, the mystery, and there is indeed hope. For this we give our thanks. Blessed be and amen. And we collect this morning's offering as a dedication, a commitment to live our vision in the world and to make it possible for the children's children's children to do so as well. Yes, please. Thank you, Bob. Another way we offer our lives and our hope is through what we're calling faith in action. And I know that there are so many things happening after church today that 2 offerings will be actually in the sanctuary. One is with Beth, if you'd wave your hand. Beth is helping use art in order to inspire us and to give messages that matter. And Ken, who's way in the back, is offering an opportunity for everybody who wants to write a message to an elected official, which is also an essential piece of what it means to be alive today. And so with that, unless there's something else you'd like to say, Ken? Is that enough for now? Okay. So we will extinguish the chalice next, and what I'm going to invite is for you to read from your order of service while I extinguish the chalice. We extinguish life brings us to the brink again and again. Let's remember that a horizon, that brink, is only the limitation of our sight. And that beyond that horizon is the potential to reconnect and to be open again to hope. May that be with us always. Blessed be and amen.